One ancient fabric, worn for 5,000 years. Science just confirmed what ancient healers already knew. Right now, the material touching your skin is broadcasting a frequency, either above the threshold or below it. One number decides whether your cells are regenerating or breaking down faster than they should. We'll give you that number in 4 minutes. But first, this. Your body is not just chemistry. It's electricity. Every cell membrane has a voltage. Every nerve fires a signal. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field that extends 3 feet outside your body. Your skin, the largest organ you have, is a continuous electrical interface between you and the world. Now ask yourself, what's in contact with that interface 16 hours a day? Ancient Vedic texts prescribed silk for specific conditions. Egyptian priests wore linen, only linen, during temple rituals. Yogic tradition prohibited synthetic materials during pranayama practice, not for spiritual reasons. They said it disrupted the pranic field. Modern biology now has a name for that. The ancients had this mapped long before any laboratory confirmed it. Here's what they were measuring. Every material has a measurable electromagnetic emission, not metaphor, physics. Textiles interact with the body's bioelectric field through something called the piezoelectric effect, the ability of structured molecular fibers to generate and exchange electrical charge. Natural protein fibers, silk, wool, have a crystalline molecular architecture. They vibrate. They exchange charge with your skin. They participate in your biofield. Synthetic polymers like polyester, the material in most clothing sold today, have a different structure. They don't vibrate. They don't exchange charge. They generate static electricity. That's the first difference. And it matters more than most men over 40 have ever been told. Body check-in. Take a breath now. Notice what fabric is touching your chest, your arms, your legs. Hold that awareness. We're going to open the biology in a moment, but before we do, there are 2 things ancient healers knew about fabric that science is only now confirming. We'll decode both. And there's one material on this chart that researchers have now linked to something that happens inside your cells. A mechanism. A measurable one. Stay with this. The hierarchy looks like this. At the top, silk. Below 10,000 hertz. That places it well above the body's resting bioelectric frequency range, meaning the material resonates without interference. Linen follows, between 4,800 and 5,000 hertz, then cashmere, then wool, then bamboo, then cotton, still above 3,000 hertz, then the gap. Synthetic rayon, nylon, and acrylic collapse to below 300 hertz. Polyester and spandex, 0 to 100. 0 to 100. Your body's own bioelectric frequency operates between 2 and 10 megahertz at the cellular level. But surface conductance, the measurement at the skin interface, runs in the range of hundreds to thousands of hertz. When a material operating at 0 to 100 hertz is in constant contact with that surface, something in the biology shifts. The ancients called it a disrupted pranic field. Modern research has a different term. We'll name the mechanism now. Here's what ancient healers did with this knowledge. Ayurvedic physicians prescribed cotton for fever. Its frequency did not agitate. They prescribed silk for meditation. Its upper range resonance did not disturb the nervous system. For longevity practices, pranayama, bandhas, the specific breathwork we've decoded on this channel before, linen was the prescribed material. Not because of tradition, because of what they observed in the practitioners. The Essenes wore linen. Buddhist monks in specific lineages, cotton or silk only. Samurai wore silk underlayers against the skin during battle, not armor. The underlayer was silk. These aren't coincidences. These are data points. A consistent pattern across unrelated ancient cultures across thousands of years. The pattern points to something specific in the biology. Body check-in. Roll your shoulders back. take a slow inhale through the nose. Notice any tension at the skin surface, neck, chest, forearms. One breath. This is the moment where what you thought was spiritual becomes mechanical. Microplastics. That word carries more biological weight than most men realize. Polyester is plastic. Polyethylene terephthalate, the same polymer family as plastic bottles. When polyester fabric is worn, particularly when it's warm, when you sweat, when you move, it sheds. Microscopic particles into the air around you, into your sweat, absorbed through the skin, inhaled. Studies have now identified microplastic particles in human blood, in lung tissue, in placental tissue, in testicular tissue. The concentrations found in human tissue correlate directly with synthetic textile exposure. What do microplastics do at the cellular level? They interrupt mitochondrial function. They carry endocrine-disrupting compounds. They trigger inflammatory pathways. The oxidative stress response, the same mechanism that drives accelerated cellular aging, is activated. Telomere shortening, mitochondrial inefficiency. Inflammation is the baseline state instead of the exception. The ancient healers didn't have the word microplastics. They had the observation. Materials that didn't occur in nature disrupted something in the body, something measurable in the practitioners. Here's the second mechanism, the one that connects the frequency chart to the biology. Static electricity. Polyester and spandex generate static charge continuously against skin. This is not background noise. It creates a localized electrostatic field at the skin surface. The research on skin bioelectricity shows that artificial electrostatic fields interfere with galvanic skin conductance, the same measurement used in biofeedback to read stress response. What that means in plain terms: synthetic fabric is constantly feeding a low-level static signal into your nervous system's stress detection pathway. Not dramatic, cumulative. Over 16 hours a day, over years. Your cortisol baseline shifts. Your heart rate variability degrades. The men already monitoring HRV for longevity? The fabric variable is not in most protocols yet. It will be. Now, the reversal. Natural fibers do the opposite. Linen specifically, with its bast fiber structure, has a mild hygroscopic charge. It absorbs moisture and redistributes electrical charge neutrally. It doesn't generate static. It doesn't disrupt the skin's bioelectric interface. Silk at the cellular interface shows something different still. Its protein structure, fibroin, sericin, is similar in amino acid composition to human collagen. When silk contacts skin, there's a molecular resonance now being studied in wound healing research. The ancient prescription for silk on healing tissue wasn't mysticism. It was structural compatibility at the protein level. The ancients were observing biology they didn't have names for. Body check-in. Place one hand flat against your chest. Feel the fabric. Feel the temperature. Notice whether it feels neutral or charged. Take one slow breath in. You can't undress the last 20 years, but you can make one decision tonight that changes the interface for the next 20. This is not about expensive clothing. It's about one shift. The skin contact layer. The single highest impact change is the fabric touching your skin directly. Not what's over it. Not outerwear. The underlayer. The shirt. The layer in contact with the bioelectric interface 16 hours a day. Move that layer to linen, cotton, or silk, in that priority order. Linen first. The frequency range. The hygroscopic charge regulation. The ancient prescription across the most consistent longevity cultures in the world, Egyptian, Ayurvedic, Essene, Yogic, they all converge on linen. Cotton is accessible. It works. It removes the microplastic load and eliminates the static disruption. If linen isn't available, cotton is not a compromise. It's still 4,000 hertz above where polyester sits. Silk. If you're doing breathwork, pranayama, or any structured stillness practice, consider the underlayer change. The protein resonance at the skin level during high-state practice is not symbolic. It's structural. The outer layers are secondary. What the body touches at the interface, that's the protocol. The ancients had this figured out before the petroleum industry invented a cheaper alternative. One ancient fabric. And the biology behind it has been inside the research all along. The men who encoded this into their daily practice didn't just wear it differently. They aged differently. If you've been following the frequency work on this channel, the 111 Hz protocol, the ancient sound mechanics, you already know the body responds to frequency. What you're wearing is the longest frequency exposure you have in any given day. More hours than any breathwork session. More contact hours than any practice. Now you have the science. Now you have the mechanism. Now you have the protocol. The next layer is already waiting.